Okay. Eternity is represented in reality by comprehension. The comprehension of the ideology allows you to cut you off the doing of the ideology and creating in your mind a false illusion that your goal in life is established with the materialistic part of the offer of reality, but in the comprehensive part. The comprehensive part is your divine, to comprehend the idea of reality, to comprehend what's the reason of life, to have answered your existential question, and then fulfill what is the new offer by having your existential questions answered. So you fall in that wrong, that you comprehend that you're not part of reality, but you are part of comprehending reality because you comprehend it. You're not doing it. You have to do it to survive, and whatever the means you survive, that's not the idea. The idea is that you have comprehended life. Then whatever keeps your ass alive, it's your own deal. But you comprehend fast that material offers nothing, and when it kinds of cut you off from reality by attending a certain amount of your energy into the maintenance of that material for the ideology that is yours because you bought it. You have the receipt. That's the false ideology. Nothing can belongs to you that way. It gives you the false idea of what life is. It tracks you off right off the bat the wrong way. Not right off the bat, like a long, long time ago. I mean, it has become superficial, but it's basic. By the piling up all those errors, trenching you out of the right ideology of what is to be accomplished down here on earth while you live. To put it in the simplest manner, is how much you have desire for life, how much you love life. And when I say by loving life, is that you, I mean, you have to be in not in a complicated way, but in an affectual way, receptive of that reality, in the favor of sensitivity. To bring up the heart aspect and unbury the foundation in a manner, because that's very much what the devil does to us. he makes us forget what are the real questions that are natural for your divine elements to be put in process, to be enabled while living. You enter paradise while you're alive. You don't enter paradise at death. It's kind of it's just a transfer of, like, the powers stays, but the environment changes around. And it becomes a new reality, but with the same motive in achievement of separation by what the plan of reality is for what it is we're living now. Because later it'll be a different one. For now, it's Mother Nature and the little birds, and the animals, the rocks. That's what it is. But after that, it's a justified creation, a rectification, a justified creation, and it's an application of the movement of verity for the collectivity, rendered in power for the weight of the justification. In the meaning that the survivor of that reality are the ones that have comprehended the essence of the directive of the natural presentation of things and the respect of it, and mostly the respect of it. And from that base, all the other component falls in place perfectly. And as soon as you try to trafficate those base, it falls upon your head, that transgression, that you have to be aware that you're not aware of that globality of reality. You don't have any idea of your the consequences of your act down here, which is the thing that saves your ass. Because if you go in the past and for, I mean, the remark we have in the implanted rocks, we can witness the chipped rock. A tremendous amount of power have been displayed through that are completely unexplainable today. And they were extremely useful by the regard of the reality right around the globe. Therefore, you get to grasp a little bit of the strength of things for the manners of globalities witnessed in the past, just like the architecture in the Greco-Roman era and all those different architectures that have shown globality, that have shown Towers of Babel, that the ideology have become global and the old people was known. When the Pope ruled, everybody was going with the Pope. Very much in the manner that we can perceive today through what has been taught as ideology in our brain that is completely distorted, so we can forget our past and destroy our roots. which is all founded in power, and that's where you can trench the aspect of that righteousness, if you will, in reality, that you have understood that the power already has been established for a respect of those power. If you want to go to those powers, come on, come on, come on. Balance was perfect the 7 days. There was nothing. He spent the whole days looking at it, and there was nothing to be retouched. What the fuck are you to change that around? That's what the primary base sensitivity has to come and puncture you somewhere. That you realize all of a sudden that no one of our good idea was actually a good idea. That our good idea should have been discussion in between us at knowing each other instead of trying to know matter. And know each other for the weakness of the heart, of not knowing what you're here for, kind of thing. And try to develop a technique to answer those questions. No, jump into matter and put in coherency matter and build a sword. Quick. So we can kill people more effectively. When you can grasp for your state of power, which is the soul that your biological entity freaking kind of hold for a few seconds in reality, and the power of that soul, if can be retained for the incomprehension of its real surrounding, for a certain questioning, and then realize, whoop, I don't want to use my powers because I don't know what I'm doing here. And I have the respect for me not to distort anything and go through life and tap in the right essentiality of life. And it should be your existential question. If it troubles you about, like I was saying at the beginning, how much you love life. I mean, that's how much you want to answer those existential questions. How much it bother you to be here alive around, or doesn't bother you much and you enjoy the ride of normal reality. And fuck, I don't care. I'll figure out when I'll be about dead. But for now, I have fun. I am too fucking bad for you. You missed the train. You missed it. And you felt in Satan's plan. You're going about with reality, and the reality affects you. And you have not understood that life eternal is to comprehend that reality. And whatever your biological entity endure down here, who the fuck cares? It's God's. It's not yours. It's God's. It's part of reality. It's not part of you. You don't understand your body. Who the fuck cares? You don't understand life. You just have a little grist when you dig your head a little bit, and you finally at least kind of enable your brain to figure out the importance of what the freaking vibrational field is around you for forming that reality. And if you can wake up enough and you go in your Bible and you look at what's written all over it, for like there's whatever, the I am. What is he? He's the systematization of idea into a coherency that adapt freaking mind, moral value, and intelligency to be able to put things in coherency for an assurance of position, conviction, to satisfy your heart, really, to know that you know. Nothing's material to know what you know. There's no material in that, but it sure exists. So it's somewhere in one of those frequency, as we can understand frequency for now. As we're playing with shit, like they go about with their big machine and it's all a high powered and programmed. They have no fucking clue what they're doing with that, really. They're trying to measure the observation of the changes and slowly tackle what could they freaking input for change without busting the whole thing apart. And those you just before destruction. Then you get that, well, fuck, for frequency to grab on cells, to grab on bio, wouldn't it be all frequent? It's the organization of the voice of God unto something, unto unrelated idea that he related into reality. For you to be able to comprehend something, that magic has to do with vibrational field that are outside of our perspectivity. Whatever that is, that's fucking around with what we don't see. And that greatly affects reality in a manner that it's the same essence. Doesn't you control reality in matter wise, and you disappear the Twin Tower like fuck all. Big joke. Everything's vibration. Everything's vibration. Material don't exist. It's all the coordinacy of God's voice for you to perceive the real, for the accordancy of what you perceive that what's real, and that's the natural aspect of reality. That's natural laws on touch observed. As soon as you take your intelligence power and apply it to matter, bam, you fall into transgression. Because that reality don't belong to you, it belongs to God. You don't have to transform it. It's perfect. It's because you didn't catch the essence of life, which is to discuss with one another about what really bugs you, what is eternity, what my heart really wants to know about life. It wants to know what is eternity, what your mind enable with reality for you to be able to be in an aspect of conviction that you have an assurance that you know what life is for. And once you have that assurance of what life is for, you understand it's a war. And you're not participating in that war. You finally pull yourself out of the war. And you finally observe the war at your foot, rolling in front of you. And it doesn't affect you anymore. Because you have comprehended it. And whatever happened to your biological entity, it belongs to God. It's just like Paul that blesses that. And that's why I have tremendous respect for the people that are grabbed in that machine. Because there's nothing more real than that. If you look reality for the real reality it presents you with, especially forming the end times in front of your eyes in a tremendous amount of speed. It's freaking amazing how quick it happens. I try to put that in my head, and then it's like every year will be a complete change. It'll be kind of a complete ideology put in our face in a way, a complete change of aspect of life that will be transformed to a complete different life in 5-7 years at the most. And then it'll be done. I don't think it's got 10 years to go. Really don't think. I think it'll go back to zero, and that's the last zero. After that, it's, I mean, whatever time is. But I think at that zero, it's Antichrist time. It's completed. The whole thing is achieved. It's spiritual warfare full on. Now you understand the weight of a lie, because you're gonna have to live with lie. Because if you don't lie and deceive somebody else, you're gonna freaking starve. And that's how she's gonna run, because that's the base of life. And that's where the Bible stamps deception all over the place. It's all about deception, it's all about lie, it's all about deception, it's all about life. We have lost the concept of those basic terms in life for what reality presents us with. They don't want you to comprehend what reality wants to achieve. They want to jam you in it and make the thing happen. But that's the new birth thing, that you get ejected out of the idea of fabricating that idea. You have understood that the whole freaking thing, I didn't know nothing about the Bible at the time, but I knew that the idea wanted to achieve itself. It was kind of the vision I had that, oh, in reality, it's the idea that counts in reality. It's not our piddly movement that we do. I mean, our little piddly life that we trying to achieve for ourselves is part of that kind of mechanism of getting the whole thing happening. And nobody sees it because everybody's looking at their belly button and they're trying to put their little flesh at a perfect pace with a tremendous amount of freaking transgression that you can't even imagine the base of where you are really. Not only that, I mean, in every freaking direction. That's why when you have your heart change, your whole life perspective takes a complete perfect flip inside out. You understood how stupid it was to try to conceive of something here in reality for your little piddly self. Fuck, you don't do that. You don't fucking touch reality for no powers. And you don't lie to no one for a cause of not understanding. And that's the base of it. So if you don't understand truth, you should just shut the fuck up and never say nothing to no one. Because every time that you're kind of talking and advising and thinking you're doing good with your word and you don't know truth, well, fuck, you're lying to the person. That's why Job and Solomon and so many more in the Bible, they're crying for, why did you let me happen, God? I don't want to be here anymore because everything I do is so freaking potent for myself in the negativity for me to bake deeper in hell and never seeing what I could do to get myself out of hell. Because I don't see nothing else but reality as a materialistic aspect. And I burn sheep all day long for you, making little clouds of smokes. And how God wants, I mean, he just wants you to perceive that, look, dumbass, because you can't maintain yourself correctly, you have to burn your best. Why do you burn your best? Okay, just act right and stop burning your best, dumbass. He wants to afflict you in the heart that when you don't let him do things, then you're gonna work for nothing. And not for the sense of nothing for a nothingness, because it'll get you going. But you sacrifice your pride in a way all the time. You always burn your best, because your mind is on your fucking sheep. Should be on people. The accusation in front of God is how much work did you do for founding your care about life? It's pretty much what he's looking for. How much did you really look for truth? For my son. For Jesus. How much did you really look for Jesus? For truth. Let's grab it right by them. You have comprehended reality. You're saved. You have comprehended reality. There's no more. You shouldn't be emotional for reality, because you understand that it's separated from you. It's an element that you regard and you sense with your body, but your mind is not in it. You're for the little the body offers, for like a tag to it, for sensing it. Your life is to understand the globality of it, so you can put time in the Bible for your eschatology and know how close you are from seeing Jesus coming back. Aren't you fucking happy about that? Jesus is coming back. And verity is coming back. The true essence of what reality is coming back. They're already talking about growing houses with biomaterials that are just programmed to block themselves up into a house. And then you wonder, those big cathedral in the middle of a channel and all engorged in a cliff in a freaking imaginary majesty right there in Mexico, falling in ruin. And you wonder, oh, maybe they grew that too. Oh, whoa, whoa. They might have not need the chemtrails to do it, though. And then how easy it is to explain the mysteries. When you understand that matter is only vibrational field that is coherent with God's idea, if you will. But Satan decides what he wants to do with it. Because God let him do his things, he just wants to become spirit. And that's exactly how God kind of brainwashed Satan. I'm gonna be like God. And then you perceive that the whole thing is vibration, and Satan is the master of it because he's lightning, he's plasma, he's vibration to the ultimate freaking presentation that reality can present him out of. And then in the Bible, you really wonder with the thunder and the lightning and the emotional and the idea and Mother Nature, and then you have your gray and your freaking vipers. And the vipers are tapping in the high field, in the gray, the low field. Without being not allowed to, they're just expert at it. Probably can go everywhere in there. But it's not their force. Their force is that. You have the spiritual warfare at the core, the gray and the freaking lizards. And the biology and the technocracy. They war each other, but it's like both ends of Satan's. In the mean that one is reflecting and the other one is constructing. It's constructing for the reflection. Because that computer's only a fucking reflection. We don't control it. Nobody controls it but Satan. You know that. For what we can control, imagine what AI can have within himself, build in the freaking whatever frequency that we have no fucking clue that it's there in the background. And it's doing really what it really wants to do. When we think we hold it, we don't hold fuck all. That's what Satan is, vibration, and we have presented him a freaking perfect vibration machine. It's all that, if you will, it's a mixed up of an ability of grabbing all those fields that we don't really know what they are, but that aura and that same, if it's within your aura, it's around the earth, and whatever your aura present, which is freaking everything that you are, and then it's plugged right in what Mother Nature perfectly furnished. Nothing's gained, nothing's lost. You're plugged right up. Magnetic, life, ideologic, whatever. All those fields. We have no idea really what they are. All the emotions and everything is freaking, and that's why they have a blast with that machine, as they think that they have a blast. Because you have to keep in concept that in Satan's mind, even though he would have even though he has, or even though I'm brain farting and he doesn't, but he would, or whatever, it's all about conviction. Reality don't realize itself with our hands only. It's got million ways to be able to be realized, and that's what only reality is. It's just a background of realization of coherency of faith. If you have enough people that believe enough into one particular situation, that reality will become true, whatever it is. Because there's enough faith for it to make it happen. And that's what really the message of the Bible is. We have lost those perspectives because there's only materialistic ideology now, that only reality only offers materialistic ability with brain and coherency. But before that, there was magic. You could provoke your imagination right into the materialistic idea, as well as we're doing it with all those fucking things we're building today. Building houses out of biological control, computer control matter. And I mean, whatever it is, like you say, like, I mean, that some you need a liver, and let's start to build freaking liver cell for you rebuilding your liver, and all of a sudden they forget how to freaking put the off switch on the thing, and how much you're gonna become a liver if the freaking thing don't stop. And you look like the Fly at the Fly movie, becoming a fly because you have been encapsulated in time with that fucking fly, moving from right to left. You have all those chimers and all that stuff. Those freaking creature we have built. We didn't build that with the computer, but we have the power to do it now with the computer. Fucking around with DNA enough, you built whatever you want. But before that was with prayers, Satan worship, you could do that. In the past, there was no way out because everybody was so into magic, making their desire happening without the work of the hand or the necessity of the work of the hand. But you have to flow blood for that. And that's why the Mayan, you find piles of freaking corpse. Because you get the power with the blood. The more you attach yourself to the devil by doing what God hates, the more you have ability to be able to gain power on whatever you want, matter, ideology, whatever. Because that's all Satan's realm, and that's when you receive that salvation, that you realize that holy fuck, ideology is not part of me, it's using me. I have nothing to do with ideology. I have nothing to do with frequency. I have nothing to do with what God has voiced into the materialistic concept we have of the universe, if you will. I've got nothing to do with that. I'm over that. I'm in the part that I've conceived that. I'm way the fuck above hurt. I understand why hurt have been placed in. To find the heart that have the respect to respect it. And that's all there is to it. Once you have understood that, what the fuck happened with your biological entity, you don't care. It's God's. It's part of reality. You're with God. You're not your biological entity. You're the conceptivity of the ruling of reality. You're examining the ruling of reality because you have the Bible and you can read eschatology and you know exactly the day you'll die. Not today because the events are not placed yet. But more and more as things goes, it's like you look in the eye of God and you see your death coming and you exactly know why you're gonna go and die. You have said enough fucking truth. It's time for you to shut up now. fucking idea of you leaving your desire of the flesh. That's a fucked up idea. We don't want that. Economy stops. If everybody would realize how pleasant it is to socialize together in a constructive manner, to try to discover the essence of life together, holy fuck, the devil hates that. No, football, cake, football, UFC, fucking video games. And that's where the old fucking shit happens, is to discuss and be critical of each other's perspectivity of how they sense reality around them. Get a bit of sensitivity for your soul of the description of reality around you. And it's way bigger than the fucking life you're living today. It's to be able to touch the powers that are driving all that. And that's the ideology. Everything is ideology. Everything is ideology. You're born in the ideology. Your soul has nothing to do but with ideology. In the sensitivity of the ideology, matter loses its track. Becomes only a freaking nothingness of splashing idea on some fucking kind of substance that renders a standard for laws. You gotta do with them. And it gives you coherency. It gives you exactly what God has put together to make it happen. If you keep everything in the sense of coherency, and you keep them separated from you. You're right. The ideology that could be brainwashed on an individual has no effect on a convinced soul, because it's already convinced, and it knows it's getting injected lies wherever it comes from. It doesn't fucking care. It understands right away that it's the machine playing on you, and you don't give a fuck about that. In the manner that it's like the more you'd worry about it, you'd become kind of fighting God ideologically, that you don't trust me in power. And that's what Paul was all about. No, fuck, you suffer with your syphilis, you fucking dickhead. Probably, I don't know. Never said what he was doing. What was the sickness of Paul, but it's to put in your face that body don't belong to you. And the more you kind of worry about all the relationship with reality in your body, you completely leave the essential aspect of that relationship with God, of trusting him with that. And for you to only record what's happening, and fuck, it's painful, too fucking bad, it's painful. It's painful to be born in fucking Africa and dying starvation at 10 years old. There's tons of painful fucking thing. But then it's not painful once you understand that reality, that biological entity belongs to God. He's gonna pull it and maneuver it and do what the fuck he wants with it. And you have no say on that. And that's mostly once he wants you what he wants you to perceive of that. That suffering is him doing it. Why does he do that to an individual? I don't know. I've been pained mentally. I haven't been pained physically much. I hate pain. But it's that confidence. That it's so hard to put white gloves on, yo. Fuck. Because you it's impossible to have any relationship with God if you spend time intellectually about trying to solve by your own hands the problems of your biological entity, proves that you don't get the dynamic of reality. In the simple manner that biological entity belongs to the guy in the Bible. It's his. And on both states. That you see God or you see Jesus, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Reality has nothing to do with your biological entity and reality. However you feel, however you are, like everything that your body feels, it's all God's. And then everything that your body sees, it's all God's also. Everything that is in the materialistic complex concept belongs to God's. And then when it gets distorted through magic, it becomes to the devil. In the manner that it affirms your vileness. That if you have been able to transgress reality for bringing imagination into reality, you had to provoke God in hatred so you can grab from Satan. Sell your soul to the devil. You inhabilitate a consciousness distortion of reality that you don't really do because only Satan can do it. So you deal with Satan, but not really Satan because he's busy with other things. It's one of his demons, but whatever. Dynamo or some shit. And then you get to be able to put kind of a systematic on the laws of magic that are presented to you on this innocent way every time that you raise your eye to the sky and ask for an answer for your state in reality, and you persevere in a fixed state of demand, and that might come to you. It has much chance that it comes to you, way more than if you're not thinking about it. And it kind of puts together that karma bullshit and in reality, which is the base in a way of innocent magic by provoking the law of attraction kind of thing. That mind has the power to attract to you. If you're hardly minded about it. Bringing along the freaking concept of creation, passing by imagination, bringing the whole concept in place, which is kind of a natural concept for a divine mind that is sick of bashing his finger under a hammer and realize that can process things a different way and a way better way. Going through those spiritual power, those distortion of reality with the power of the mind of man. We had to be cut of that. So we created the artificial intelligence and all that bullshit. And not only for a manner of rendering conviction to matter and framing out conceptually the spiritual realm through computer. It's like encaging the spiritual realm and enslaving it and making it do your will and through computerized, because you capture some kind of freaking ether substance that is electricity out of some kind of fucking crazy formula that's called magnetism. And where you take that magnetism and harvest it into a computer, it's got to come from somewhere. And then you passed into the innocency of men. What are you really doing when you're spinning those turbines and produce electricity and harvest all that fucking magnetic field? Where that magnet, it's like gas, it comes from somewhere. It's now in the computer and the freaking lamp that burning heat to light up your way. It's not free. It needs the water to turn it, yeah, but you're still harvesting the fucking magnetism. And that's like, fuck, yeah. You need all that weight of water to be able to turn that fucking wheel to be harvesting out of that shit. So you gotta be pulling it out of something so it resists you, and you need all that fucking water to be able to freaking de-resist. And that's where you start. Oh, okay. Antenna in the building in the 1900s. Okay. Hats made out of mercury. Okay. All those black top hats were all a process made with mercury. How much that burned people's brains, especially for the high class, so they fucking forget where they come from. Those victorious finish in freaking psychiatrist school getting experimented on because they're so burnt with mercury out of their hat. Resets. that fucking reset that we're just about to experiment will be kind of all the possibilities of all the era presented in your face within half a year, probably. For the time that the army will run at you because you're so freaking stoked that your health is all taken care of, so as your buzz of life and whatever you desire. That Agenda 2030, they say that, they're not saying bullshit. When they say you will be happy with nothing, you will be happy with nothing. They'll induce you the fucking happiness. You won't know why you're fucking happy, but you'll be happy. Don't worry. Peace and safety, buddy. Peace and safety. Peace and safety, a little trouble, and then peace and safety again, probably. For the big piece of trouble. Because it's always a flip. It's always a flip. It'll be some kind of a piece of and safety when Babylon, when the technological progress will be able to capture you in a sense of perfectness of life. You feel like life is perfect. It's all fake. It's all computer controlled over you, but you have participated in the freaking thing, and that's your recompense. You don't ask for nothing because you're completely perfect. You get all the little luxury that goes with it, and fuck you. Hollywood made enough movie about that. Completely dumb, completely satisfied of life. For what Babylon will have burnt your brain in, and then when Antichrist will show up, then it'll be the ultimate freedom, because it'll liberate you from all that credit balancing dynamic. That now once again you'll be able to expand your mind because you're not under the credit point, and you don't have to behave as the government tells you to behave so you can just survive. Now you can just survive and not have the freaking rule and get whatever you want in life, because Antichrist just showed up. And nobody will resist that. Everybody will jump on that. And that's where Babylon will be destroyed without force, in a way. Just because it won't present any better solution in a million minds possible. Million miles possible. You won't need a computer to tap in that whatever ether or whatever you're playing with. Antichrist will tell you your fucking brain is way better than that machine. Just tap in it with me, and you'll see the powers of it. And then that won't last long. Everybody will be on it. We'll suck it dry in an instant. The life matter, like the vibration that would sustain life. And then you could tap in that and transfer your desire into reality for the amount of life you need to suck out of reality to be able to establish your material. Then you start conceiving a little bit more of the possibilities of what was the spiritual power in the old times. If you want your Giza pyramid, it'll be possible if if you do the right thing with the devil, if you will, be able to move mountains and all that shit. It's the great wonders that will get everybody in a way. Call it the aliens, but I don't think they'll show up as an alien. They'll show up as a man that we have created. But that being the work of the aliens that are manipulating the human race into the execution of the machine so ideology can be produced in reality. We're completely enslaved by the idea. We have no idea that we're enslaved by the idea. Because we're all running culture since we're born. Everybody runs culture. Everybody runs the program of doing what culture tells you to do. Nobody argue too much with that, and everybody goes to hell. And as long as you don't have conceived that life is not biological, but it's comprehensional, and once you comprehend the ideology of that reality, you're safe. You're in the comprehension level. Nothing stresses you about reality anymore. It's a game. I mean, you just have to observe it. Not worry about it. The Bible tells you how it's gonna end. As long as reality follow what's written in the Bible, the person shouldn't worry. Because it's very, very detailed how things happen, and as detailed as you want them to be, they're getting explained in the Bible for time. And you can really see where civilization is going and how the process happens and how things happens so it happens. I wouldn't worry about it. It's all written down. As long as the story don't goes out of how it's explained in the Bible for how God sees it coming, then everything's fine. There shouldn't be any worry. You're on top of the game. You know that things will get robotized. If you're gonna be robotized or not, fuck, who cares? It's not important. Because your comprehension cannot be touched. It's not part of reality. It's over reality. Once you comprehended the game, nothing can touch you anymore. Because death means nothing. It just means that you finally liberated from that fucking biological piece of shit thing you're in. So as the shitty reality that's around you, and you're finally in paradise with the Father in a way. You're in the ultimate. You finally have turned around that freaking completely turned around that dirty socks. That you have worked at turning around them as much as you could while you were here in reality. Same work. The work, the motion, the whole thing remains the same. Finding the trace of respect for the higher entity. And the higher entity told you, fuck, it was perfect, buddy. I did that perfect, buddy. Wake the fuck up and find yourself something to do that don't destroy all that shit. Because that's mine, it's not yours. And if you jump in it, it's gonna get you. Because it's mine, it's my ball, it's my fucking... It's my bone for my dog. It's nothing. It's nothing. What I'm doing here, I'm separating the entity that has enough sensitivity to discover the ultimate piece of the cake of what respect is down here. And that's all. That's all I care about. Once I found those pieces of respect, not that I didn't know or It was mostly that those pieces of respect must had been trained into what I considered that not being good. And those pieces of respect have conceived of that, experienced it. And that's what I care about, the amount of experience. And it's exactly what you do when you look at the confound of society. And put your critical sense in a position of being able to capture the most amount of angle possible of cut reality, in the sense that you understand one particular motion of the presentation. The Bible gives you the essential truth, love, comfort, hope, being your enemy, hope. And that's pretty much what the Bible really offers when you regard it. It's hope, and how hope don't function. Hope don't function in reality. And that's what the Bible tries to put in your face all the time, all the time, all the time. Your actions are no good. It's not about your action, it's about you comprehending the essence of your life. I put that in your heart for you to sense yourself for the amount of sensitivity you have, for the amount of love you have toward life. And your ability to be realistic enough to be able to discern that life and see that the biologic entity has no life because it dies. So life is somewhere else. There's no life in life. It's a distortion of vocabulary. It's very, very wrong vocabulary to have called that biological entity and that life and that biological aspect of thing and the trees and everything that lives as life. That's not life. That's death. That all dies. The only thing that lives in reality is to comprehend it. Nothing else lives. Nothing else is eternal but to comprehend reality. And very, very much accept reality as it is. In an acceptance of embracement, as it gives you miraculously, with a miracle, every piece of the puzzle. And it's free. You only have to search. The coherency comes freely by the amount of interest into your search. You don't have to do something to be able to comprehend. That comes free. You just have to inject more information and more information and then more information. Then at one point you comprehend by itself. And that's the free gift of grace. That's the whole idea of that freeness of the liberty. You only have to regard and put information in your brain, and all of a sudden, poof, comprehension happens. It's free. It's all about how much you maintain at heart the desire to get the answer of the question. After that, it's for you to put information in it, and then your brain will calculate that all for free. Boop. It happens like nothing. One day, pow, you get it. Wow, okay, I get the fucking idea now. Now I get it. And it's all of a sudden like that. You have put all the puzzle together. Poop, everything fits together right on. I got it. And the more you have pieces of puzzle that fits now together, the more you're convinced. The more you have peace about the problem. Once it's solved, every new piece you fit it in the freaking. In a way, you could say you fit it in the maze on the second stage. In the stage of affirmation. That that relates to that concept and that concept and that concept and fuck that piles in that fucking pile there of pieces. Boop. Okay. I think that's enough. Bye bye.